Hello guys, welcome to Mark Shrimp Tanks. I thought we would start to do some teeny little videos where we can do what I do on a daily basis in here. I can show you all the little tiny jobs that I do in a shrimp room that normally never make it into a video, right? So today I thought we'd come in here, we'd have a look at some of the shrimp tanks, and we'd do what I was going to do, and that is today we're going to remove some of the pat minis from these tanks down here. Teeny little jobs. In here you can probably see them at the back. And guys, this is no slur on Pat Mini or Aquael or anything like that. I actually really like the Pat Mini filters, but when you get to 20 plus tanks, having that many Pat Minis in a shrimp room kind of can create problems with the sheer volume of plugs. In the summer it can heat up the shrimp room, so I've decided to remove them all. We have a giant air system in here anyway that does all of our filtration now as well, right? So it's cheaper to do it this way. It's not as hot. Makes sense, doesn't it, guys, right? But because we're doing a little teeny video today, all these type of videos will be under 10 minutes, guys. I just want to show you this. This is the Opa Uli tank, and yeah, it is coming along really nicely. The last few days this green algae for some reason has decided that it wants to all float. Right up here you can see, you can probably just see baby shrimp and stuff. The GoPro is horrible for macro kind of stuff, but you can probably just make it all the little specks up here that are floating around in the water column. These are actually baby shrimp. Right, so one of the changes I did make in this probably about 2 weeks ago was I added a single nerite snail in here. Can't see it right now, but it can't be just a coincidence that this is all starting to float after I added the nerite snail. So I'm wondering if the nerite snail has come along here and it's been grazing on all this stuff from the bottom, because when I have the nerite snails in the past on this side, I'm not sure if it's even visible, you can actually see the teeth marks all over the glass from the nerite snails feeding. And yeah, so all this is starting to happen once I put that one single nerite snail in here, which looks kind of cool, doesn't it? The other thing that's quite awesome, guys, is this. This is a little marmo moss ball, and this has been in here for a long time, right? And it just goes to show, right, this is a brackish water tank. This is really green still. Normally they die over time. But this one's a little bit white on this side, but it's strange how they last so long in a tank. This one over here, guys, is a little bit white, right? But this one's been in here since I started the tank. Look at the size of it. Very cool. I just thought I'd show you that today. Shrimp are a little bit busy. Yeah, so let's get on to the topic over here. We have our Pat Minis. As I said, they heat the water up a little bit, and the other reason I didn't mention at the beginning of the video is I actually do have quite a lot of power cuts in Norway, quite regular power cuts, at least once a month at least. Right, and if the power is off for any length of time, that can create issues, because the shrimp will simply climb into the front of the power head, right? If you have an air filter like this one here, you can see shrimp climb into this. If that nozzle was in the water, that is, if they climb into it, guys, what happens on the inside of an air filter? Nothing at all, right? There's no moving parts in a sponge air filter inside. There's nothing at all, there's nothing moving, nothing that can hurt the shrimp. I've actually seen shrimp in these tubes before grazing, these little King Kongs. Right, so that's why I'm removing the Pat Minis today. Let's see, so all we have to do, guys, is be careful here, unplug the Pat Mini. I'm going to actually keep the sponges in the tank because these will have bacteria on them, and then we're just going to take out everything else. And guys, let me show you as well what other tanks do I have here, like this one here. This is a good example. No, this one isn't, this one does have a Pat Mini. Let me see. No Pat Minis in this tank. Lots and lots of babies all over the place. No pack minis in this tank. Babies all over the place. No pack minis at all in this tank. This is my Galaxy tank. Lots of babies all over the place. This one's really full of babies. A couple of sponge filters. This one still has a pack mini. I think these will be the only two left in the room that don't have a sponge filter, an air-driven sponge filter, which we'll try and remedy quite soon, because these ones need to be replaced as well, right? And then once these two are replaced, that will be it for the whole room. Teeny teeter top baby videos. Let me see. Yes, let's get over here. Look at this thing. Sponge filter. Single sponge filter. Bazillions of snails. Right, so there you go. That's why we're doing it today. My Calcio tank at the back is... Actually, guys, all my tanks have either 1 or 2 sponge filters in them, and that is it. Okay, so let's get you sat down somewhere, and we'll unplug this. Oh, we'll unplug it. Let's do this one over here first, right? So because it'll be easy. Let's see. Let's follow the cable. Not a bit rocky, that one. That one's got a lot of air in it as well, actually. Let's see, is that the cable here? Let's get you unplugged. Yeah, that is the other reason as well, guys, is we want to do away with all these plugs in the shrimp room. It is not good to have this many plugs in a shrimp room, because I do believe they are a fire hazard. This many on all the extensions I have. In this room, guys, for example, I will have maybe, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outlets in the wall. Right, and at one time I've had 25 plus pack minis, all the lights, all the pumps, so you can see where I'm going with this. It's just a little bit too much. Guys, before we do that, I've actually washed my hands with a little bit dish soap. 1 drop is enough. Make sure you get your arms as well, because you don't want to cross-contaminate anything into your tanks. Especially if you have cats and dogs, this can be a real issue. Right, so let's see, where can you see the best, with the best image here? That will do, I think. We might actually get some of the stuff off from this side. It's a very, very hard tank for us to get things out of. Let me see, what can you see? This side will be the best. This side will be the best. You guys can see everything, even my bollocks. Right, so this is unplugged, because guys, I have done this before where, oh, this one is tight. I have done this before where I put my arm in the water of the tank, right, and there's been a visible like grease slick on top of the surface, right? I mean, I think when I did that the last time, I did actually, I wash my arms as well, right? So you have to be aware that humans are not clean animals. We're not disgustingly dirty, but we do have oils on our skin that you should really get off before you put your arm in the tank, right? So when I'm lifting this, guys, I'm just checking to make sure there's no snails. There's a lovely little ram's horn snail there. And I'm going to try and tip it upside down a little bit, because there's a lot of water in this. Just let it flow out a little bit, and then we're going to go like this. With a little bit of luck, this will come out nicely. What's all this Java moss here? See it? All this lovely stuff. And guys, when you're doing this as well, just check the inside of your filters, because shrimp do get into stuff like this. Eventually they do sometimes, right? So take out your little things. Thank you, kind sir. You have served me very well. Let's get the plug. And I think what we'll do here, guys, as well, when we're doing this one, I think it's long enough, right? We're going to reposition the sponge filter that's on the side here, and we're going to put it to the back of the tank. Makes sense, doesn't it? Let's see. Little spongy filter. God, there's a lot of Java moss on here. Look. Lots and lots of Java moss. See it all along here. So this is my crystal tank. Crystal bollocks. Let's see. Sometimes you have to clean the glass at the back. We'll see. Right, have a little look. All's doing well. Look how much Java moss is actually grown on that filter. Look. Isn't it lovely? Right, so let's get you to the back. I'm going to actually push you down a little bit. No need for you to be that big, sir. In you go, and make sure both suckers are on tight to the glass. Make sure it's straight, Mark. It's very hard to see that far back. Alright, so that is good enough. What I'll do, guys, as well is later on I'll take at least half of this Salvinia out the tank as well, because you really don't want that much in a tank. Right, so that is the first one done. I'm going to have a little look inside this filter just to make sure that there's no shrimps, because there can be. And there you go, we've opened it right up. Filter is now at the back. The tank will look a little bit dirty for a little while until all of this settles. I'll probably put these sponges to the back as well, because the shrimp will graze on them. Let's have a little look at this Pat Mini setup. Guys, this is still a good setup, but yeah, we're doing away with the power stuff, as we've already explained. Alright, so this was the filter that we designed and made donkeys years ago. Big huge piece of sponge on the top. Now guys, if you only have like 1 or 2 filters in a room, you have lots of spare plugs, there's nothing wrong with this setup, right? So let's open this up and have a little look inside. Let's see what it looks like. How did it do? Is that snail eggs there? How did it fare? It is snail eggs there, you think, there? See the jelly? No, it wasn't. It's a bubble. Let's have a little look in here. I have a feeling this is, by the way, this is actually a blue sponge, not black. This has a lot of ceramic rings in it, right? So we are removing a lot of biomedia. I think sponges in our case is more than good enough for what we do. It's more than good enough, right? So when I'm looking in here, guys, I can't see anything at all. I'm looking specifically for baby shrimp, because baby shrimp will always find ways into sponge filters. You see here, blue filter. You know what's interesting with this, guys, is it's actually black on the top and blue on the bottom, and it's meant to suck from the bottom. Remember, it was sitting this way, it wasn't sitting that way, so in theory you'd think, why is it not black on the bottom? It's a little bit odd. I'm going to give this a little squeeze in the water just to see how dirty it is. Not too bad, actually. Not too bad at all, right? So it wasn't that dirty either. But as for it is, right, and we'll reuse all this stuff in future projects, guys, because I do plan to do some Asian style under gravel filters for this as well. This stuff is ceramic rings are quite good for filtration as well, as long as you pass the water past it all slowly. That is the first one done, and that's already 13 minutes, guys. So I think we're going to keep it as just doing that one time today. I'll do the rest of camera. Honestly, you don't want to see me just removing Pat Minis, I don't think. Not like a 30-minute video just for doing this. So anyway, guys, if you found today's video at all helpful, then please do like and subscribe to the channel. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Happy shrimp keeping. Before I go, I just want to say thank you to everyone that supports us on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. I don't know what my shrimp keeping days would be like if I didn't have a shrimp farm to share with. Thank you.